Welcome to Reality NSFW. Professor Tim watches Survivor. I am Lauren Pratt, joined always by my co-host Cody and the great Professor Tim. We're here tonight to break down episode number 8, the epic episode of season 4, Marquesas. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm doing it. I didn't realize this was such an epic episode. Do you realize this is one of those episodes I actually quite enjoyed? So I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here bubbling away. But why do you think it's epic? Am I getting into this too soon? We should find. How is Cody? Cody's looking.
I'm great, and I am just thrilled that we actually have all three of us here for an episode tonight.
Or is it me? Has my sound gone?
You're back now.
You're
You
good.
cut out a little bit.
Did I cut out?
Just a little bit.
Oh God, that's awful. That's awful. Okay, well I am back. Do we have any people here to witness that audio disaster? Sam, hello.
We have TV
and
Mania
TV
and
Mania.
Sam are here as usual. These are our most diehard.
So Sam is telling me
fans.
this is an iconic moment in Survivor history. Why is it iconic? Is it because I enjoy this episode?
That's what it is. Exactly what it is.
Right. Okay. This episode saved Survivor. Well, I think it did for me, actually. I was at the point of pulling the plug and thinking, next week I'm going to find some clever excuse to avoid doing next week, but I'm not now. I'm actually committed. I'm actually committed. So I want to know. Sam is going to have to is going to have to write in and tell us why he thinks it saved Survivor. But presumably, why does it? Why is this so epic and iconic?
Well,
Lauren.
TV Mania kind of. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in on more in there. TV Mania kind of answered that question. Question as well.
Oh, it's epic because it's the first time ever that the Power Alliance was dethroned.
Right.
Oh, I see. That wasn't why I thought it was epic, but
Well, see, that was what I was going to ask. Why did you think it was epic? Because I think Cody and I think it is for a different reason, but you always have a hot take, and we're normally not in agree. We don't agree typically with some of your takes.
Of course you don't. You're not supposed to. But no, I maybe it's the same reason actually, but it's the knock-on effect that I find so exciting. I saw character today for the first time. I saw real character from almost every single player. And I thought, wow, this is really exciting. I even saw character, a sort of sulkiness from Zoe. I didn't expect that at all. And I know who Tammy is now. And Neela. Have I got her name pronounced correctly?
No, of course not. It's Nalia.
Nalia. I'm making her sound like a piece of furniture in a church. No, sorry, Nalia. I was going to say I know who she is now, but obviously I don't know. I don't know her well enough. But so these characters who have been just sort of ciphers to me up till now, they've blossomed into life, and this may well be because they've decided to challenge the system. Though Nalia, TV Mania, I love you. Thank you so much. You'll have to be there as my vocal coach all the way through, because I slip into so much disaster. I was talking to a fellow from America today, and though his house looked as if it was British, I felt so at home. And I told him I was going to be broadcasting this evening, and I said, you've got to prepare me. And he said, I will. And I just felt there wasn't really any difference between you and us. And I thought, this is very. I'm obviously slipping into a mid-Atlantic lifestyle, aren't I? This is very good. I will be over. I'll be over in your world very, very soon. Believe me. So, let's. Thank you, TV Mania. You're lovely. You're lovely. Sam, I love you as well. There we are.
See, now you're picking favorites. You can't do that.
I'm not going to. I love everyone. It's it's an emanation of affection. There we are. From the vat of anxiety which I was plunged into earlier, I'm now emanating affection to the world. and their friends. But the other thing I found so exciting about this is this film is filled with film references. Did you pick all those up?
I picked up one. I picked up the Godfather reference.
Yes, well, there's the Godfather reference, which I didn't quite get because I do find the Godfather. I can't say this aloud because I've got so many friends who will be shocked. They will think I'm a heretic, and they'll be lining up to burn me in a sort of recreation of Name of the Rose. But but there's another reference. No, but the Godfather reference, I didn't quite understand the Godfather kiss, but I understand. You know, it seemed to be explained within the context of the story they were telling, so I understood what it was. It's a sort of ironic kiss, isn't it? Yeah, I don't do irony. Yeah. So no, I do irony. I don't do sarcasm. I think sarcasm is a bit sort of it's sort of desperate attempt to claw authority. Sarcasm is the sort of thing that I would assume is standard practice in the halls of power, either in London or in Washington.
We just never know where it's going to go on this podcast.
We never know. Anyway, right. Thank God we don't have license to go down a Doctor Who rabbit hole, because otherwise I'd be there with my Dalek impressions. Anyway, Soliano. Have I got that pronounced correctly?
Soliantu.
Yeah. Soliantu. It's a made-up name. It's got nothing to do with the Marquesas Islands. It's mostly Latin. But you wouldn't like Dorothy from the Golden Girls then, or Chandler from Friends. I love Chandler from Friends. And who played Dorothy in Golden Girls? That's not the lady with the deep voice who was in Mame, is it? What's her name? I can't remember her name.
I think, wasn't Dorothy B. Arthur?
B. Arthur it is. I love B. Arthur. You see, when I think of B. Arthur, I don't think of her in the Golden Girls. I think of her as the man in the moon is a lady. She sings it right down there. A lady with lipstick and curls. The cow that jumped over cried, jumping Jehovah. I think it's just one of the girls.
I don't know if the cat enjoyed that as much as we did.
What?
I said, I'm not sure that the cat enjoyed that as much as we did. I could hear him screaming in the background.
he's gone off to try and find some food. I think, I'm so focused on his sister at the moment, who's not eating, that I think I've not put food down for Bay, who is, after all, the TV star.
Well, that or the cat was trying to sing along with you. We just don't know.
It could be. It was a duet.
Well, he might have been saying, no, it should be about 3 octaves up. She's a girl. But B. Arthur did famously sing. She sang right down there, and she's wonderful. I love B. Arthur. So she's Dorothy. You mentioned Dorothy, and I immediately think Wizard of Oz, or yeah. Anyway, right. Soliantu. This non-existent tribe. 9 left, and off we go. And it's all midnight camera stuff. It's all terribly exciting, but I'm afraid the tone is wrong. And until I realized there was a film reference, I was getting more and more disturbed by the flatulence or the wind. Do you know what is it? Paint Your Wagon and Clint Eastwood walking around the place singing, if you can imagine this. I mean, he cannot really hold a tune. And they did a musical, and I think everybody in that film could not sing. There's 1 or 2 films famously in Hollywood where they did musicals and nobody could sing. Why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, so Clint Eastwood could have actually sung the theme song for this particular moment. They call the wind Mariah. Mariah, they call the wind Mariah. Anyway, Mariah. Who is Mariah Carey? Is she someone I should know?
She's pretty famous
in
the States, at least. Yeah.
She's not a euphemism for a flatulence, is she?
No,
No,
I don't believe
I
so.
suppose she should be grateful, shouldn't she? Is she a singer?
Yes.
She is, yes.
Right. So not all hot air. That's a relief. Right. Okay. TV Mania is saying a famous singer. Not famous enough, clearly, because I don't really know who she is. She is just a name out there
You
in the
still
ether.
asked about her, so you were curious at least.
I was curious, and I want to learn. Feed me, Mariah. Anyway, I just felt that the whole thing was going down the tubes, with all this sort of bodily noises and Sean unable to control his oracle. And then I suddenly thought, then it suddenly struck me, no, this isn't a bad boys do wind. This is an homage. This is an homage to that great scene in Blazing Saddles where they're sitting around the campfire. And I thought, Mel Brooks, eat your heart out. There you are. So I thought, this has its place. Sean is rescued. In fact, the whole thing was all about the rescue of Sean, wasn't it? And well worthwhile. I thought Sean was going to survive today, and he did, and I was really proud of him.
He did. And the thing I noticed today also is that I felt like the edit did a really good job, not necessarily giving away who was going out in the start of the episode, because Sean was getting an edit as if he were going to be voted out.
Yes, but that was obvious, I'm afraid. I didn't realize who was going out until we got to the very end. That was a surprise to me, because he was looking at his most lovely today. I thought, how could you vote out somebody who was so decorous on the beach? And off he went. I thought, no. It's because Jeff Probst doesn't want to have any competition. That's the reason. All of this is fixed, I'm sure. And you can imagine Jeff Probst there joining in with the Blazing Saddles moment. I'm sure he'd be a sort of ponderous, a sonorous tuba to Sean's little piccolo. He's not had a good meal, has he, Sean? It shows, or at least it tells in the sort of sound
something
department.
that he ate definitely got him fired up for the evening.
But not fired up enough. I mean, it was sort of a pretty pathetic little bleep, wasn't it, really? I mean, if you produce that, you'll be booking yourself into the doctor in a few days' time, frankly.
Yeah.
I think, but these are not things we want on the telly, unless you're doing an homage to Blazing Saddles, in which case, great. Let's have a little, I was going to say effluent, but I suppose that follows, doesn't it?
I did enjoy that Kathy included that as a reason in the beginning of the episode when she was talking about Sean being in trouble and potentially being voted out. Like, that was one of the 3 reasons that she gave that he may be voted out.
Do you know, I think Kathy comes across as a moaning Minnie in this episode. I began to dislike her. Am I completely wrong? Kathy was the person I actually started to root for going. I thought, oh yes, she's on her way out, and I will be pleased. I will be pleased as punch, because she's just that little bit too sanctimonious, and you can't imagine her joining in with Sean, can you?
No, see, I thought
she's like the Queen. It doesn't happen.
Exactly.
No.
Not at all. No, I felt like in this episode
it percolates back up as some sort of some sort of clever phrase.
Yeah, no, I felt like in this episode, Kathy, I think we got a really good look at some of Kathy's strategy and where her head is at in the game. It's
not nice, is it?
I enjoy it.
She's just sort of complaining all the time, and she's sort of
I wouldn't say complaining. She wants people to play the game and make a move, because her thought is, if I'm sitting here on the bottom, why am I just going to be waited to get voted out, where I can then convince people to come with me?
I made a note about her somewhere. I think where did I make it? Where she's talking to Zoe, where it's all about plans and lies and alliances, and it's just distasteful and whingy. I felt it was beneath her.
I thought it was clever how she handled it, to be honest.
Did you really?
I did, and I liked how she kind of saw right through Zoe and read the situation really well.
Why didn't she read this before? Because it was all there earlier.
I think she was a little unsure before. She was
for
pretty
goodness
confident
sake.
with Zoe, and then after Rob kind of made her confidence level a little shaky, now she's more in tune to the situation, I think.
How long would it have taken you to work it out?
Listen, when I play Survivor style games, I don't trust anybody ever. So it would take me no time at all to
work out that these people are not your.
No, but you have to
buddies.
I disagree. You're saying you don't trust anyone. You have to though. Like you have to find at least one or two people, because if you don't trust anybody at all, then you're really kind of putting yourself to the side, and then they're gonna rally against you potentially.
Well, this is what's happened to Sean, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and I think you
go
start
on,
off with the people that you trust, and then but eventually you still always kind of have it in the back of your mind, like you trust them with a grain of salt.
Yes.
You know, like everybody is here to play an individual game, especially at this point.
You see, I think there's a difference between trust and friendship. You can be friends with people that you don't trust. I can think of some friends I've got who I don't necessarily think I believe everything they say. Some of them are a little bit elaborate with their language. And do I like them any less for that? No. But I'd be careful to take directions from them. I'd be very interested in their creativity. If I've not got a good novel, I have a chat with them. It's perfectly okay, and we like them for it. We like them for their invention. And I think that's what you have to do with Survivor. If you're not I think people have misunderstood, and I think Kathy does. Kathy resents people she can't trust because she wants them to be her friends as well. She wants them. Yeah, she's confused friendship with alliance and with playing a game. You don't get angry with somebody you're having a game of chess with, or you're playing. I was going to say golf, but I've never held a golf club in my life. I mean, would you get angry on the golf course? I think people do, don't they? They start throwing their golf club.
If you put the ball in the water.
John McEnroe.
The water, they're pissed off. No way.
John
you can get so enraged on the golf course. That's why I don't play.
You were using the English expression there. You were doing a British bit there. You were saying pissed off as opposed to pissed.
Yeah, I always say pissed off.
Yeah. Do you really? How
I do.
But I thought in America land you said he's pissed, and
it depends on the context. I think like you can say like I'm pissed, and that's
here it would mean that you've been knocking
pissed off is more of like a past tense. Like I was pissed off.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it well, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reference either way, but at the same time, as you're saying, can you actually get mad on the golf course? Absolutely, because if you take a terrible shot, you're just going to be angry, and that's why I can't play that sport, because I don't have patience enough for that.
My goodness! So, what would happen if you're doing dressage or some sort of equestrian sports? Would you get angry on your horse and then frighten the horse?
See, but that's the thing. Personality-wise, you have to be probably a calm individual to be able to do that. So if you're not, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Oh, I see. But you have, you're still competitive. You can be competitive and calm. You can be in an alliance and friendly. This is the point. This is what I don't understand. Why, do these people have such overwhelming sort of mono emotions?
Well, and I think a good example of what you're talking about how you can be not necessarily in the same alliance but still be friendly is John, Carol, and Sean. They had, even though obviously they were on two opposite, they were in two different situations, they were still
looking lovely,
friendly banter back and forth, and both acknowledged their friendship.
But why did we lose that relationship today? Because it was the first time I saw that relationship today. And I thought, that's lovely. They're going to be hugging any moment. But they didn't. He's out. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. One of my little heroes. I had him marked to go quite a lot further than today. I think it's part. I'm afraid I think that's part of this sort of mindset of all the people who've been cast, that they want to get rid of any serious competition, because John was serious competition.
Well, and you saw what he did. He was able to corral the troops, have people on his side, and still convince. What was happening was Pascal and Nelia were supporting him, knowing that they were probably going to go out well before he was, and they were going to let him win the game, essentially.
Yep. But it all goes wrong with that foul, horrible, mean, nasty, small-minded game. I mean, Probst and his minions, when they concocted that game with the coconuts, all I want to do is sing music hall songs. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There's a lot of singing today. There they are, all standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as and I. You don't know the lovely coconut song.
I have heard the.
I have heard it.
There you are. You see, Yumpty Tumpty Tum. I got it. It's all the background to Mary Poppins. She's getting a look in today as well, and it's not just because I saw Emily Blunt in Jungle Cruise. She was lovely in Jungle Cruise, but it wasn't until I got to. I kept thinking, I know her. It wasn't until I got to the credits. Emily Blunt. Oh my God! I've been watching Mary Poppins too.
Yeah. Well, I did think. I think that the immunity challenge today is what really brought Pascal on board with actually
changing his mind.
Game, like actually paying attention to where
he suddenly looked. He suddenly looked sort of infused with irritation and. And he had he just come out of the waterfall or something, but there was it was quite an intense close-up, so how they focused on him at that particular moment and got all that emotion at the same time, they must have had the camera there when he was it was really extraordinary, because it was as if the camera was there to catch the moment at which he realized that he was being played.
Yeah, I think it just brought to the forefront for him the pecking order that had been established, because the whole immunity challenge really just kind of went in reverse order. So it was great, because had that not happened, I think he would have still voted for Sean, and he would have tried to convince Nelia, who had a great conversation with him to help him see the error of his ways. And so had that immunity challenge not occurred the way that it did, we would have had a different outcome today.
But I don't understand why that immunity. I don't understand why they went for Sean so obviously, because they didn't have to. Did they also badly want to go and look at fish? I can't think of anything more boring.
I don't even think they were necessarily thinking about it. They were just saying to themselves, I'm going to get out the people that I know I don't want to win immunity. And so Sean was easy target number one. Then you have Vesepia, then you have Kathy. I don't think they strategized that at all, clearly, because then people are questioning, oh, this is actually what seriously is going to happen.
But they weren't going to get immunity with that challenge. That challenge was simply for a jolly.
No, so the kite challenge was was for reward. Where they had to manufacture a kite.
So sorry, I'm completely upside down here.
Don't be sorry. I think that's a challenge that you're saying to yourself, why was that a challenge?
Yeah,
right. I hated the immunity challenge. The kite challenge. Well, that's our other film reference, of course. That's our second film reference of the night. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. We all ought to do it together, really. We've all seen that one, haven't we?
Yes.
I've seen it, but I don't think I could sing the song.
Oh, Cody, come on.
Oh, no, I can't sing.
Paper and string. I can do it for you all. Okay. You can have your own set of wings. I can't really. I just put across the song.
If you haven't checked out Professor Tim's YouTube channel, Zontal Films, you need to, because he does some really great performances on there. I really enjoy the creativity and the performances that you put on. So.
You're very kind. You're very kind. But you see, I think What do you think flying a kite was all about in Mary Poppins? Just to divert briefly from Survivor. I know we normally stick rigidly to our subject, but
yes, we're always right on point. Yeah.
So do you think it's metaphorical? Don't you think?
Well, the only metaphor that I'm aware of for "go fly a kite" is less than pleasant.
Well, that was in the film. That was in the that was in the TV show in Survivor. Somebody referenced that expression, and I was expecting them to be a sort of doing a Mr. Banks reference, and because that's all. When you produce a kite, all I can do is start skipping and get my paste and paper out. And
I do have to express some disappointment in some people's kite making skills, because as I'm looking at them, I'm like, you've got to tie it off at 3 points, and then you have Leah who used most of it to make a shirt and had this little tiny
absurd. I mean, I was going to say something terribly rude there, but it looked like a handkerchief, and it was. I'm not surprised she didn't get anywhere with that. She was wearing she was wearing all the equipment. What was she trying to do at that point? To sort of get a head start on OnlyFans, or I don't. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
What was she trying to do with that one? I don't know. She was just posing. That's all she was doing.
Well, maybe she knew it wasn't her challenge. So, if you know it's not your challenge, at least enjoy yourself.
But nothing seems to be her challenge. She's done nothing.
She's making lemonade out of lemons, I guess.
Certainly, she was having a sort of a day off. Really, I'm just going to sit back while you boys do all the. Oh, that's lovely, John. Yeah, lovely. General, rah rah rah. Sean. Let's see your kite. That's a euphemism. So I don't know. Everybody else threw themselves into it except for her. She just couldn't be bothered, and then she couldn't get it off the ground.
There was quite a few that couldn't get it off the ground. Kathy made a kite. It was like she had been making kites her entire life. She just went out.
Yeah, it just went straight up. It was spectacular. But that's the whole problem with kite flying. Either it goes up or it doesn't go anywhere. It's I've only ever flown a kite once successfully in my life, and that was on a windy beach in Brancaster, which was on the east side of England. And the house was about to get swamped with water. And I think I was sent out to fly a kite as a distraction because I would obviously have sort of kicked up a fuss. So go and fly a kite, Tim. I think in those days I was called Timothy, which is no one does that twice these days.
I do think now that we're talking about getting things up, it's a good opportunity to throw an advert in here for our sponsors, Magic Spoon and Blue Chew.
Is this another advert I'm going to stick my hands over my eyes over?
Just for one.
This will probably make you blush, yes. One of the two.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Just one.
Zach, back in the day, I used to love watching professional wrestling every Saturday morning after my cartoons. And whenever I did, my favorite part was enjoying cereal with it because cereal was cool. But, of course, growing up, cereal being the best part as a kid, I had to give it up. Why? Because I realized it was full of sugar and junk that you shouldn't really eat. Now, I've been trying to cut down on carbs, sugar, and unhealthy food and realized I basically can't eat anything anymore. I've been drinking protein shakes and powders for years, but I finally found a delicious way to get my protein before and after workouts. Now, hey, we're all trying to eat better, but healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring, and Magic Spoon has the amazing flavors you love, but without all the bad stuff.
I am hooked on Magic Spoon too. This stuff has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. We're only talking about 140 calories in a serving. Plus, it's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. Now you can build your own box or get a variety pack with available flavors of cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. I am absolutely hooked on Magic Spoon. Like I said, my favorite is to blend some of those flavors. I like to mix up my cocoa with my frosted. That is some sugary deliciousness that I can't resist in the morning. Johnny, what's your favorite?
Oh, I'm mixing the cocoa with the peanut butter, and I'm doing a peanut butter cup action. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's good stuff. And if you want to join us in eating some Magic Spoon, just go to magicspoon.com/survivor to grab your delicious cereal and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code SURVIVOR at checkout to save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked.
Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/survivor and use promo code SURVIVOR to save $5 off. And thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this episode. This episode of Reality NSFW is sponsored by Blue Chew. Say it with us, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom by offering chewable tablets that can help men get stronger and longer lasting erections. That's right, we're giving away super hard dicks.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. Blue Chew's tablets help men achieve harder, stronger erections to combat all forms of ED.
Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor offices, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And it ships right to your door in a discreet package. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online.
Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. Don't like swallowing pills? No problem here. Blue Chew's sildenafil and tadalafil tablets are chewable. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and they prepare and ship direct, so it's cheaper than a pharmacy.
Hey, if you're looking to give that immunity idol to someone, or you don't want to be voted out of a crater, don't worry, Blue Chew's got you covered. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's Blue Chew, BlueChew.com, promo code SURVIVOR to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
It seems like such a fitting time for that advertisement. I had to.
I'm now covered in cat, but so this is the elderly cat who's really very ill. And she now wants to move. Sorry, we're going back down. I may have to take her off to have some water. No, you're going to sit there. No, she's not. 1 second. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
No worries.
There we are. Right. What was I going to say? Your adverts sort of take us. I wasn't thinking of the bit of blue cloth, but the Blue Chew does sort of. It did make me think of the bit of blue cloth, and that arrived in a discreet package as well, didn't it? And then it was cut up, and you could imagine somebody chewing on that cloth. It got so small, there wasn't much left. But anyway, no. What I was going to say was, I don't think I didn't realize. I don't think Johnny and I would get on terribly well. I hadn't realized Johnny's interest in peanuts. I can't stand peanuts. He's got, the breakfast cereals. Am I right that peanuts is in everything in that breakfast cereal?
I don't know. I think that there's one that's peanut butter flavored.
Oh, is it just one?
Yeah.
I got the impression peanuts were sort of dominating the whole.
No.
The whole manufacturing process.
A variety of different flavors.
You see, if Jeff Probst were to present his Snicker to me, I think I would reject it. Jeff Probst, No, you can have your Snicker back. I don't want it. It looks lovely, but I'm not going to have it. It's not going in my mouth.
I thought that you would really appreciate how he was feeding it to the first few people, like putting
It was
it
all
in their mouths for
It all
them.
looked as if it was in slow motion. I wasn't. Yeah, it was like a sort of 70s film that we wouldn't mention, and it was a bit disturbing. Jeff Probst does love himself, doesn't it? He really does. It's probably quite a lot of self motion on slow motion.
Maybe a little bit of both.
There's
Probably
quite a lot of self motion as well.
I say not much of anything sometimes, but you get my facial expressions. For those listening to the podcast, you miss out on some great facial expressions.
Yeah, if you just listen to us on the podcasting app, that's fantastic, and we appreciate you being here just as much as everybody else. But if you ever get the opportunity, make sure to watch us live on YouTube when we're filming, because our faces say just as much as our words. Sometimes more.
I must confess, you don't get all my facial expressions because they're generally saved up for the adverts, which although we hear the same adverts sort of, I think, every single time, they never fail to slightly shock me. And I think, we go from breakfast cereals to something probably that well, actually, I do know that in Greece there's a thing called πρωινό, which is breakfast, but it can also be something else.
Well,
that might wake you up quickly.
I think the goal in this advertising is to start your day off right with Magic Spoon, and then keep it on the right path with Blue Chew. That's where they're headed with that.
I see. Sam is saying Blue Chew as a Magic Spoon cereal.
I think that'd be a very bad idea.
That'd be an interesting cross promotion.
I think we should genuinely combine everything, really.
I don't think we should combine everything. Things are not meant to be together.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I think only Jeff Probst would stand out alone, and he was looking particularly clean today. Didn't you feel he was looking very sort of shiny?
Oh, you wait. It gets better as time goes on. He just
really,
I think he's just, the budget's coming up in the show. They can afford a little makeup for Jeffrey to make sure that he looks pretty on camera.
Well, maybe he was wearing makeup. Maybe he was doing a Tony Blair moment. But now I remember talking I remember I had some friends who worked on the restoration of the Statue of Liberty, and they were French, and they went to meet Ronald Reagan, and they said he had so much makeup on I could scratch it off with my fingers. It was quite extraordinary. It was a very good image was left him. But yeah, you need if you're in the public eye, I suspect you need makeup, and maybe if you're in the public eye a lot, you probably need to sleep in it.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, he needs the makeup, clearly. All over the place. Legs. His legs were looking lovely today as well.
I mean, I'm not checking out his legs while I'm trying to watch the episode.
Oh, I have moments of boredom and my eyes wander. So back to Jeff Probst's peanuts. And I got a note here next to Jeff Probst's peanuts. Kelly comes across as paranoid. That's the line I wanted earlier. She comes across as increasingly paranoid and less likable. As a result, she's sort of, I don't think you can alienate yourself from everybody in this sort of show. And I've got something coming up which is so exciting. So exciting.
Are we going to hear it now?
You are, because I can't resist it. It's the James Bond moment in the film.
Oh, here we go.
The James Bond moment. It's octopus, as in Octopussy. And I just thought, and there it was slithering around. The only reason for going under the water and there, and it was one of the best Bond films, don't you think?
Sure.
Octopussy.
I admittedly have not watched
if you haven't watched it, you know that's thrilling. That's like a sort of that's like a real episode of Survivor, and everybody wins at the end. It's lovely. Now, do you know the plural? If you had more, if you had to see it more than once, do you know the plural of octopus?
Well, I would have said octopi.
No, it's not Latin.
But I remember we've had this conversation.
We've had this conversation. Have we really? I'm so boring.
No, not at all. I'm trying to recall what it was.
There you are.
That
there
you
you
said.
are.
But I do remember you saying it's not octopi.
Fifth declension Greek. So just go back to your Greek. Yep. You got Lauren. You've got it, haven't you? Immediately, you think, fifth declension Greek. That's all I needed.
Yeah, no, I've got no Greek.
It's octopody.
Octopody. That's what it was.
Yep,
okay,
it's octopody.
I remember this now.
And you could imagine Kathy, Kelly. She's not called Kathy, is she?
It's Kathy. You're right.
Kathy.
It's Kathy.
Yes.
Why have I got Kelly written down here? It's not Kelly who comes across
You
as
know
It's
why?
Kathy.
You didn't like her this episode, so you gave her a different name.
Yeah. You know, somehow I just thought K will do, and Special K. That's a breakfast cereal without any without any blue chew in it. You put blue chew in Special K, and you'll have people all over the place losing weight and legs everywhere. Right. So it's octopus. Octopus. I haven't seen a program which it transported me to the cinema. I haven't seen an episode of Survivor that transported me to the cinema so vividly as this one. And I was so excited. I was thinking, I hardly need to be on a desert island. You know, there's what was it? Wasn't there a film about two young people stuck on a desert island in the 1970s, and they were sort of cast away? And then there was the dreadful Oliver Reed film called Castaway. Gosh, that was a yawn.
That's the one. That's the first one that comes to mind.
God, and Tom Hanks with his ball named after me. Oh, unendurable. You know, cheap film. We can pay. We can get an expensive actor in this film because we only need one of them, and we'll probably kill him off.
They only need one, and mostly one location.
One location. And we can rent it off Jeff Probst,
which coincidentally is in Fiji, in the same region that Survivor is currently filmed.
Well, there you are. There you say they did a deal with Probst. And if he's not selling candles, he's selling the location.
I think that candle is an exclusive just for you. As soon as I saw it, I said, "This is." I can't take my eye off it. I have to turn it around so it doesn't offend too much. But you know, every time I go past it, I have to take my glasses off. But but I did try lighting it. That was a bit much, really. Jeff Probst, he doesn't need his candle lit. He can do that on his own. So scuba diving. Do you scuba dive? You probably do, don't you? Both of you. I don't.
I do not.
I would like to go, but I have never been.
Have you, Lauren? You haven't done any scuba diving?
I haven't before, but like Cody just said, I would really enjoy it.
I would hate it, but why would you enjoy it so much, Lauren?
I feel it's an adventure, and I want to see what's in the water and everything. I like watching what Kathy was seeing, and just being able to be that close is an experience I want.
I don't think we saw what Kathy was saying. I think we saw what the cameraman was saying. I think Kathy was having a very dull time in sort of foggy water. And I was like, is it this way? Is it this way? You know,
I haven't ever been scuba diving. I did go snorkeling in Barbados once. And that was really neat because I got to kind of swim around an old shipwreck. And that's
where you just put your head under the water, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't, and the water wasn't super deep, but we were.
That could make you think of Jeff Probst.
Swimming with sea turtles and checking out the fish around the shipwreck and stuff. It was really neat. But if I could scuba dive on like a reef, then that would be ideal. That'd be amazing.
But so if you're snorkeling, are there times when you go right under the water and your little sort of what's a periscope?
You could
completely under.
You could. More experienced snorkelers do that probably more often than people.
And then you have to sort of blow in a big way to get your air back up again.
Kind of like a whale, you know.
It would be terrifying.
I
Terrifying.
enjoy being in the water though, so that's why I think.
I think this is the reason I don't like vomiting. You know, I think it's
Well, I
because
don't like vomiting either.
I don't think anyone
fair.
likes vomiting.
Well, I was thinking that when your head is stuck so close to the lavatory, and you've got all this water faced in front of you, and you think, you know. But Cody, you just want to stick your head in there, don't you? You just want to get in there.
No, that's where I draw the line.
How did we get to this?
Flush and go. If you can't get to the sea for your snorkeling, just stick your head down the loo and flush.
Portal to the afterlife for goldfish everywhere.
Now, did you know that some people have been throwing their goldfish in lakes and things, and they've been eating up all the other fish? And,
they become very, very large.
Become very, very big.
If you put them in natural waters.
Yeah, they're big animals, and they're greedy little beasts. But I've got a really good fish story for you, because I have a friend. I can't say where, but there's a corridor in his house, and his father's office, and there's that corridor is sort of glass, or appears to be glass, and there's sort of purple light shining up. It's very expensive. And you look at it, and there's something moving slightly as you walk down the corridor, and you realize you've got little eyes looking at you. And then you go into the office, and all the things have moved and are facing the other way. It's lots of little piranha. And the office wall is a fish pond, sort of designed for the piranha, and they're completely static. They're sort of looking at you and thinking, lunch.
Yeah.
Lunch.
They spend their whole life staring at you, wishing.
Yeah, they don't move. They literally don't move. They're just waiting, ready to pounce through the glass. If that glass broke, you would be attacked. It's
I'm okay with not keeping pet piranhas.
Yeah, well, Jungle Cruise reminded me very much of this experience. I was thinking, ooh, Dwayne the Rock
Johnson. Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so good. He sings too.
When I think of piranhas in terms of movies, I think of Jungle to Jungle with Tim Allen, where he sticks his hand. He's in the boat and he sticks his hand in the water, and a piranha bites his finger.
Do I remember that? I'm not sure I've seen that.
It's an older
movie. No, I've not seen it. Like what's that Brendan Fraser one? Tarzan, or George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser is so good. He's getting back into movies again now. I believe he's in something new. He's one of my heroes, I think. Brendan Fraser, good fellow. Should put him in Mary Poppins 3. And probably take Emily Blunt out. Put someone else in there. Give someone else a chance. No Meryl Streep. Then one decent people who can sing. The person who does Anything Goes. Can't remember her name. Strallen. Anyway, so let's get back to our subject. I
never knew if we were going to get there or not. I thought we were just going to end with like the goldfish story, or.
Well, no, we're going to take the tone down again, because I never realized that coconut milk was a laxative.
I didn't realize that either, and in fact, I think that it would be a really good thing to drink if you were dehydrated. Yeah, but evidently that's not the case.
Efficacious. I would have thought it would have been a good thing to drink, but no. So it's like figs. Figs are a laxative as well, I think. Or at least that was the effect they had on me, anyway. But I have I told you the story? I got arrested once while I was in Greece, and
what?
But
this is a story that we have to hear, because I cannot imagine Professor Tim being arrested ever anywhere.
It was a mistake, and what the police actually wanted was for me to go to their police station and draw their police station. So I clambered over the mountains. I was living on a mountain. I was a goat herder, and I clambered over the mountains. I think I might have left my goats with a friend, as you do. Could you look after my goats for the day? I can't. I'm going to have to take her for just to have some water. I think. Oh no, I've got some water here. 1 second. You stay there.
Professor Tim has lived such an interesting life that I would.
I'm going undercover for a second.
If you were to write a book about your life, I would read it.
One second. I've got to provide water.
So if you're watching and you're not sure what's going on, Professor Tim's cat is a little bit older, and she's been having some health issues recently, so he's just tending to her to make sure that she's good and all set.
Where are right? Okay. Now, so yes, I was on this mountainside, and the police arrived, and they sort of said they were going to arrest me. I was a little bit frightened, and the following day, they got me to go over to their police station, and it turned out what they wanted was me to draw their police station, which I did. And they were so pleased with it. And I think I drew little portraits of all the police. If they were really going to arrest me, it was like sort of saying, right, so can you draw your mugshot? And can we have it in profile as well, please? And as payment, they gave me a whole bucket of figs, and I thought, this is very nice, but it's a long journey across the hill back to where I was staying in my little kalivaki, my little wooden hut, and so over the hill, as I was walking over the hill, I thought over the mountain, the Taygetos mountain, I ate the bucket of figs, and by the time I got within sight of my little hut, I was practically slipping down the mountain. It was disturbing. It was disturbing. There was some washing to be done, but
oh, no.
Right.
Sometimes lessons have to be learned the hard way.
Those lessons do have to be. So I was delighted. I was delighted that coconut milk would have had the same effect. And yes, and with the coconuts, I've written down here, such a nasty game. I think that probably was the nastiest game of the lot. I loved the fact the coconuts are all painted different colors.
It was definitely visually appealing. The reason that I like the game is because
you liked the knife. Oh, you like the game because it exposed the nastiness.
It exposed the alliances and the pecking order, so that somebody even as disconnected from the game as Pascal could see the writing on the wall.
Yep.
And it just changed the trajectory of the game. I think had it not been for that, we would have just watched John and Zoe and Tammy and that whole crew one by one eliminate the people on the other side, Sean, Pascal, Nalia. They would have one by one eliminated all those people and then eventually been forced to turn on each other, obviously, closer to the end. But I think that the challenge really changed the whole trajectory of the season.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
I love that challenge. Every time.
And so this is why TV main. Do they do it more than once now?
There are
they do it often.
Yeah, there'll be more in the future.
Survivor.
Yeah, I think that makes it good because it exposes people, or people could have better strategies and decide, you know what, maybe I'm not going to go after who I want to necessarily target in the game, and instead pick someone else to eliminate.
But it seems a very nasty challenge. So Sean had clearly won, and he was knocked out. Yeah. I just thought that was so unfair.
So this is what I actually do think that they should do to change the challenge a little bit. I think if you get the question correct, you should not be able to be chopped at all.
I agree with that.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. If you've got the answer right, you should be immune from chopping.
Yep, it should be narrowed down to anybody who did not get the answer correct or
that's
right. At risk.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
And so that would have a really neat effect because it would require at times people to chop people in their own alliance, and the order in which they do that could also expose pecking orders within an alliance itself.
Also, I was interested. This is one of the few quizzes where we heard quite a lot of the questions. Normally Jeff Probst doesn't think it's worth doesn't think we're interested.
We did get to a point where, as I was taking notes, I either missed the question or they didn't show us the question, because I noticed people going back up and chopping again, but not everybody went back through. So
there's some which aren't there, but I like these questions, and most of these I didn't get the coconut one right, but I got the other ones right, and I was quite sort of pleased. I think,
I do like the trivia ones because I feel like I can kind of play along as
I can play along, exactly, and you suddenly think I could be there on Survivor on the beach, and I could be winning.
I would have lost, but it would have still been fun.
I'm afraid I would have been in the Kathy position. I would have been sort of paranoid and bitching. Nothing would get past me. I would hate the lot. Yeah, I would try and be friendly. I would make an effort. I don't think friendliness is not a natural instinct. You have to try. You have to work on it. And Kathy should have been working on it a little bit more, because I'm not surprised she felt guilty and gave everybody her Snickers, or Jeff Probst's Snickers.
I do think, like you said earlier, that part of her problem is that she's having a difficult time balancing the friendship and alliance aspect of the game. And as a result, I think that just is kind of putting her out a little bit, is putting her off, and she hasn't come to the realization yet of how she needs to still present herself to the tribe, despite how maybe she's feeling on the inside about everything.
So you just have to realize that one of the things I think people on reality TV forget is that you're still on show. You're still being filmed. It's still the telly, and you've still got to smile and be seen. It's Bill and Ben. When I was a child, we had this little import in the east of England on the local television channel in the east of England. We had this import for small children, of which I was one, and it's sort of etched in my memory because it was so sort of significant, rather like Jeff Probst has been. And but this was a thing hosted by a lady called Miss Rosalind, and it was called Romper Room. Did you have, or do you still have Romper Room in the States? Because apparently it was an American import, and you didn't, did you? And
no,
you're looking completely lost, and you're saying
I feel like I've heard of it before,
really,
but I don't know if I've heard about it from you or if I've heard about it else. I don't know. I've heard the name before, but I'm
afraid it could have been from me. I'm so garrulous. I would say the same thing about 40 times, and not realize I'm repeating myself. But she had this lovely moment where she held up a sort of mirror, which suddenly became the center of the mirror suddenly became transparent. So you thought she was looking at herself in a sort of vain moment, and then suddenly the mirror bit disappeared. She was looking straight at you, and I knew she was looking at me, and she'd be saying, "Romper stomper, romper roo, and I can see you, Timothy, and you're 5 today." I wish she'd said that. She never did. She never saw me. I was me. I'm still doing that, aren't I? Really? Yeah.
Still, so much disappointment.
So much disappointment. All I want is Miss Rosalind to notice me through her magic mirror. Right now, do we have anything else that we've got to say? Except I missed the Godfather kiss because I don't understand it. And I've got no more notes. I think I've got a thing, Fabian of the Yard, which is a really old TV cop drama, and I have no idea why that's there. It's even older than Dixon of Dock Green. Both of those mean nothing to you, I know. But
you always have something in your notes that you don't know why it's there, and then you get to it, and then half the time you can't even read your handwriting.
I can't read my handwriting. Yeah, no, I can't. Didn't you find it satisfying that Sean and Vesepia became friends again? So Sean and Vesepia had this realliance, or Sean had a realliance with Vesepia and God, and I thought that was a very satisfying moment for all three. So I thought, that makes me feel Vecepia is on her way to victory, and she might well carry Sean with her. So that's my prediction. I'm not changing my prediction.
So there you go. After episode number 8,
do
and that is Professor Tim's prediction for you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think if Sean's got through this episode, he can probably get to the end.
I think I do have to say I was very pleased with how it came out, how the episode result came out. It's always nice to kind of see that change and dominance and the
there
shift
was
in the
something.
game.
There was something else which I thought was very interesting, actually, and I'd forgotten that. And it's again about Vecepia, and just that you got a glimpse into her character today, which we haven't really had, and it sort of proves everything that I've been thinking, that she's really playing the game secretly and quietly, because at the beginning of the episode she's saying such horrible things about Rob, and she voted against him. She was very pleased to vote him out, and she wanted us to know.
And that seemed like kind of the consensus among most people, because even in Kathy's confessional, she talked about how the entire vibe at the camp had changed and everything was more relaxed.
But it's not something we would ever have heard from Vecepia before. She's played her cards very close to her chest. That's a poker image, isn't it?
She has.
I don't really play poker.
Her quietness should not be mistaken for a lack of
indolence.
Participation in
Yes,
the game.
No, she's very switched on. But I was pleased that she's bringing Sean along with her. I was worried about her and Sean that they've been cast in a sort of tokenistic impulse. So I'm really quite excited by the thought that she might win.
I think they're both good characters in their own way, and
they're lovely characters in their own way.
I love
that Sean established today his purity, that he's never lied, and I think that's really good. And I think, in all the previous series that we've seen, I don't think diversity was something which was sort of celebrated. Here I feel we're getting the first hint that there is a sort of celebration of diversity, and it makes me wonder, what sort of production is doing. If you're getting a more diverse production crew, because that's what you need. That's what you need.
I know that in more, I think that it kind of fluctuates throughout the years, how Survivor handles diversity, and it's not always in a way to be celebrated. But I do know that in the more modern seasons, they have made a commitment to have at least 50% people of color, not only as part of the cast, but I believe that they're working to bring the production crew up to similar levels as well.
But haven't they pretty well abandoned the idea of having anybody over the age of 30?
It seems that way, because they still haven't called me.
You're not over the age of 30. I think of you as very young. I think of you as very, very young.
I appreciate that, but my receding hairline does not agree.
No, you don't have a receding hairline. You always wear. No. Put it back on. Put it back on.
Exactly. It makes me look so much younger.
It does make you look younger. Yeah.
I would say I've started using a product to hopefully reverse that, but I'm not going to name them on the show because I think they should sponsor us. So I'm going to withhold that.
Oh my goodness, really?
Until they sponsor us.
Maybe I've been using it sort of abstractedly without realizing, but I could sort of cut some of this off and send it to you. But yeah, gosh. So and does it work? Is it successful?
I won't know for a year. It takes a year to really see the full results of it. So yeah.
And is it something you have to swallow? Or is this something you sort of smear all over?
No, it's a topical solution that you put on directly in the area. There is a prescription medication that you can take as a pill that's supposed to help as well, but it's very like you can consume like no alcohol at all when you take it. And I don't drink a lot, but when I do drink, it's not planned. So I was just like, I'll hold off on that for now. We'll try. We'll start with this. We'll see how that works before I.
Alternatively, you can sort of you can sort of plant it, can't you?
I could possibly. I think that would be really expensive, though.
It always strikes me as looking rather painful.
Yeah, it sounds painful. It doesn't sound like something I want to do. I'll either this will work, or I'll just start shaving my head. Those are the real options here.
Well, there is a third option.
So,
Well,
and it's just embrace my.
no. The third option is you just
yeah.
it's called a wig.
Yeah.
I don't think Cody's going to be wanting to wear a wig.
I was thinking if I played the part of Mrs. Doubtfire on stage, I would have to find somebody who could make me a sort of fake beard, which I could wear in the street. And that would be rather jolly, wouldn't it?
It would be.
And I could wear it on stage. I could do the Daniel bit with a beard, and then the Mrs. Doubtfire bit would be all so much more of a revelation. But I don't think it's going to happen. Sadly.
You could quite well pull off a Mrs. Doubtfire role, because I do think.
Oh, I could. I can pull off the voice.
The
I can pull off the
resemblance?
mannerisms and the.
To
Yeah, it
Robin
would be. It
Williams
would
is
be
very-
like.
it's there.
And do you know it's we're coming up to the anniversary of his death.
Yes, it's August 14th.
Something like that. I try and make a little video to celebrate it because I think he was such a great character, and he left such a wonderful legacy. I should acknowledge it because I feel I've sort of inherited at least something of his spirit. And you know, my name is really Williams. Did you know this?
I did not know that. That's really interesting, though.
I was adopted as a baby. And I eventually traced down my birth mother, who was peculiar, and she explained that she'd married a man called Williams. So when I was born, my surname was Williams. And
It's interesting because you do strike a resemblance to
yeah.
Robin Williams.
Oh no, dear. Poppets, it's time to end. It's all good things have got to stop, dear.
It does. And so with that, Professor
With
Tim,
that, we've got to go. Ooh.
where can we find
Hot
you, Professor
flushes.
Tim? Other than right here on our great show.
At the oven, dear. At the oven, dear. I'm doing a very nice lasagna. So there we are. You can find me on YouTube. And I'm doing lots and lots of YouTubes at the moment. I think it was Zontul Films Limited, ZONTUL FILMS LTD on YouTube, and on Instagram, it's Professor_Tim_Wilson, and Twitter is Prof_Tim_Wilson, and then there's a blog called animate-tim.com. And sometimes I put stuff up there, but I haven't really been doing as much as I should. I'm being a bit indolent, to use a word we used in the show. I can't remember who was being indolent in the show. Maybe Jeff Probst. He wasn't really being that indolent. He was cracking his Snicker open and giving it to people, feeding it to them, inch by loving inch. There we
are. And Lauren, where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter at Lauren_Pratt6 and just on that great Instagram at Pratt6.
And if you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at Cody Survivor. Thank you guys all for tuning in and watching us tonight. It was really fun discussing episode 8 of Survivor Marquesas with everybody. Don't forget to check out adfreeNSFW.com, where you can get even more content from Reality NSFW and do really cool things. Like recently, you guys all had a get together in Cincinnati to celebrate Zach Hacker, who's also on our channel, moving to Morocco. Him and his wife are moving to Morocco.
Oh, have they gone?
To the patrons, they're ready to leave. I don't know if they've actually left yet.
Lots of love, Zach.
So, but a bunch of the patrons got together, got to hang out with Johnny and Matt and Zach and each other, and they had a really great time. So, adfreeNSFW.com, join our patron group, become part of our family, and you can come hang out with us when we do really cool stuff like that. And before you go, please make sure to check out this advertisement from our sponsors at Manscaped and Lucy.
Before we go, we are we set for next Tuesday, or are we going to be?
I think we're going to try for next.
We're going to try for next Tuesday. How wonderful! So
that would be the best.
Because I know I get little notes which saying, "Are we doing it tonight?" And I gamely say yes, and then sometimes it doesn't happen, and I think, oh gosh, that's really embarrassing.
I know it's horrible.
So so people, we're definitely going to try to be a little bit more regular. And what we need is coconut milk.
Coconut milk and figs.
Coconut milk and figs, and we will be as regular as anybody possibly could be.
What a way to end this! What a way.
Well, it started with flatulence and it ends with figs.
It just came full circle.
Yeah, there is product.
It's all right, everybody. Well, here's a word from our sponsors at Manscaped and Lucy. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you next week on Tuesday. Thank you so much.
The Olympics, Euros, baseball, major championships, and concerts are all in this summer. But you know what isn't? A wild and hairy bush. Tame your pubes with help from our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Their 4th-generation performance package includes the brand new Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat your pubes like Olympic gold? Fellas, do right by your balls and join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com with the code SURVIVOR.
Brent, if you're paying attention right now, I know that you've probably had a mishap in the past and you've been trimming down there with not the tools for the job. Well, Brent, that's right. I'm talking to you. I have come to save you, but not just me. The folks at Manscaped. The world is starting to open up, and the Performance Package 4.0 from Manscaped is here to help you get ready. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, plus 2 free gifts. What's that, you ask? Performance boxer briefs and the Shed travel bag.
Talk about a world-class dismount into the post-quarantine world. This package is the perfect package for your package and peak performance in whatever sport you desire. Wink, wink. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 is here to take the podium. This 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 also has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch, you can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Did I mention this trimmer is waterproof too? Michael Phelps is drooling just thinking about the possibilities.
Now, this package also comes with the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in both your nose and ear. This tool is a lock to take home gold in the biathlon. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and uses a 9,000 RPM motored 360-degree rotary dual blade system. This nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent against nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate holes.
After trimming your pubes, show them some sportsmanship with Manscaped's liquid formulations. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner are the key to feeling victorious this year. Manscaped's also throwing in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0. That's the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed travel bag.
Now, go right now to get 20% off and free shipping using promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, free shipping with promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. Achieve pubic glory this year with Manscaped.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, or even in the gym.
I am so happy that Lucy is sponsoring us. Ever since they came on board, I have gotten no less than 5 of my friends transitioned over to Lucy and put their cigarettes down. They like the gum. I'm used to seeing the packages all around. This stuff is great, and it's really helping people make much healthier choices. So get on board and join the Lucy movement.
Hey, it's 2021. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple that you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR.